This morning I wanted to talk about why you don't have to be perfect in life, why the intention isn't to be perfect, why it's not going to be possible for you to be perfect. Because a lot of the times when I'm filming these videos, what goes on in my head about them is, how can you speak when you're not perfect? I speak so confidently, as if I'm right, as if I know what I'm doing. And that's why the channel's called Thoughts, because they are just thoughts and they're not necessarily always right. And for me, it's not about being right. It's about documenting the process. It's about showing when I'm wrong. There's no planning in this. I don't say something and expect evidence to come out and show why it's the truth. I don't focus on proving why I'm right in what I'm saying, because I might not be right. I'll let life prove if I'm right or wrong. I don't need to show evidence. If I say something and it resonates with someone, and then you'll see that, no, I was wrong, that is what I want. That's what the best outcome is for me. To say something and be wrong, and then figure out another thought that could possibly be right. And I think that should apply to everyone. I think that's how people should be living their lives, that they don't walk around and think they're 100% right. It's a tough one, because when you have insecurities, a lot of people's defense mechanisms are to build up the confidence, have fake confidence, and almost blindly rely in a story, in lies, in making stuff up or acting a certain way that they know or that they're not sure is 100% them. They're faking it till they make it. And that can have some benefit, it can get you going, but it can't sustain you in life. And it's an insecurity when you have to fake it to make it, because you don't actually have the confidence to do what you want to do. And it's tough, because you see these stars, you see these professionals that are so confident. You've got your Conor McGregors, your Floyd Mayweathers, you've got your modern day ones, Ilya Tapore, you Paddy the Baddy. You've got these people who are confident, but I think what people don't see, they don't see the work they put in behind the scenes. They don't see it. So they don't see the actions that have got these people to being confident. Confidence is purely just having the memory that you've put the work in, that you've done what you're supposed to do and you've worked hard. And there's no way, if you need to perform once, but you've practiced it 10,000 times, you're gonna be confident in that. Because there's no way, you're just doing it 10,001 times. It's your repetitions that get you confident, it's your actions that get you confident. And this fake confidence doesn't last, because you're putting on a show. People get lucky and things work out for them most of the time, because confidence can just work for you. It can't sustain you unless you're doing repetitions. But what confidence does for people is it makes them appear like they've got it all figured out. Sometimes because you think you've got it all figured out. Sometimes because you dream that you can figure it out. You're insecure in your own ability, that you wish you had it figured out. And you can be confident and be wrong. I think that's what people don't realise. You can be confident and then be like, oh, well, no, I was wrong here, but now I know. And then you're wrong again. But confidence is useful, but it's not the main thing that you need, because we need to be wrong to learn. How are you going to learn if you're just always right? And most of the time, if someone's always right, they've been wrong. There's no way people are always right. That's the thing. What you got to realise is there isn't this perfection. With me filming these videos, there's no perfection. It's just going through your thoughts, going through wrong thoughts, seeing how they apply to life. And when shit gets bad, what sticks? What actually works? What drags you out of them holes? What rebounds you? What works when stuff gets tough? That's where you find out what's right and what's wrong. And if you're watching it and you want to know if it's right for you, all you have to do is try it. See if it sticks. And if you don't remember it and it doesn't stick, maybe that's not the answer for you. But it's a big thing to speak how I do, and to not criticize yourself and say, who are you? What makes you think you're right? I always imagine certain people in my life listening to this and thinking, it's a bunch of shit. You're chatting shit. I don't see that from you. And that absolutely might be the case, because maybe it's just the start of an action. It's just the thought. The action hasn't even come into play. It's just a thought to apply. My example, I think that at the highest level, is always David Goggins, because we're opposites in a kind of way. He puts his actions first and his thoughts second. I put my thoughts first and my actions second. And I know he's got it the right way round. But this is the way I do this. But both of us, when we're wrong, you try and work on figuring out the right answer. And I could never compare myself to him and be like him. Different people, different ways of life. But when you're looking at examples of role models, people who seem perfect, just know it's not perfect. There's no perfection. And I think that's why I like listening to David Goggins, because he doesn't spout out perfection. He exposes his imperfections. And anyone in the media who's popular, who's famous, you don't see any of them expose when they're wrong. And to me, that's a sign that it's fake. They don't want to risk being wrong. But the thing I enjoy about me and the videos I film is that I'm not trying to be perfect, and I don't want to mislead anyone to think that life is perfect and every single thought that I have I act upon. And that's exactly how I am every day. I get angry, I get sad, I have normal days, I have times where I do things extremely wrong, I have behaviours where I become lazy, and I do things wrong all the time. And that's okay. And I used to think, how can I speak like this and be wrong? But once you realise that it's only human, that this is life, to be wrong, people don't want to be wrong. But to be wrong is to slowly work on being right. I also think sometimes what people do is to protect themselves because they're insecure about certain behaviours on themselves. They attach themselves to ideas and labels. I have to be this. Medically, I'm depressed. I have to have a label because it makes me feel better that I'm assigned to something. I just think, it's a touchy subject, but I just think people label themselves for the sake of it. I don't like saying that I've ever been depressed. I've just been sad. I'm sad. I've been really sad where it's hung over my head for a very long time. Most people would probably call that and class that as depression. If I go to a doctor, he'll probably tell me you're experiencing depression. Going to a psychologist, that's probably what they would say. But I don't need a label. I don't need to put a word necessarily on it and categorize myself to make myself feel better. You know what it is? What realistically those sort of emotions are? It's being normal. It's being completely normal. These things happen to everyone in life. Some people get through it. Sometimes I just think labeling things hinders you. That becomes your identity that you can't move from. No, I'm depressed. I'm one of those people. I never thought I'd be, you crumbles you. Oh my God, no, I'm depressed. No, I've judged people who are depressed. I can't be depressed. For me personally, my experience with it is of seeing it and experiencing it. It's just normal. Everyone goes through it. Everyone has those moments. Some people have worse than others. Some people figure out how to get out of them quicker than others. And I think it with everything that's labelled with certain things. Now, again, I could be wrong. Some people have OCD, and some people have serious OCD, and some people might just have a little bit. But sure, medically, there are certain people that probably do have OCD, and then there are just certain people, that's just your personality, the way you are, and it's not that deep. And I think sometimes when you get labelled with something, you start fixating on it. You start becoming worse with it, because that's now who you are. And the right thing for me in my mind to do is say, you're just like everyone else. You have to label an insecurity to make yourself feel better about something, because I guess everyone in the world doesn't openly show what they're insecure about, don't want to be wrong, don't want to look like a fool, don't want to be embarrassed, me included. I hate to be embarrassed. I hate to have insecurities and to show them. But I know that you are meant to show them, expose them, show your worst part, and try and figure out on how to be better, find the right way. But a lot of people avoid these negative parts of themselves and don't want to expose them, don't want to have other people know. When it comes to dating people, no one wants to look like a fool. No one wants to truly look like who they are. They put a brave face on, they put a confident face on, they fluff up their life story. They appear better than they are because you can't handle who you are. And if you've got to fluff up and you've got to lie about things, that's a serious thing about your life that you're going to have to look at yourself and try and sort out and say, why don't I want other people to know that I feel shit about these things about myself, about these insecurities? One, is it the people you're surrounded by? Do you not feel like you can do that because you feel like you're going to be judged? What's that say about the people around you that you've chosen to be around? Do you need to find different people? Or do you just need to be brave and expose it? Because a lot of the time what actually happens is you tell people about how you're suffering. You tell people about certain things you do that are wrong. And then other people will go, oh my God, you know what? I do the exact same thing. Oh, I used to do that. I've experienced that. And the more you share, the more you can relate to each other, and the more that you see that we're all fucked up in our own way and that we all do things wrong and we don't need to hide it. I have insecurities. I hate being embarrassed about things. And it's a different type of embarrassment. It's not like someone could call me a name in front of everyone. I get embarrassed. When I'm wrong, it's embarrassing. So I don't like being wrong. But if you expose yourself to those sort of circumstances and those situations, you get past it. You learn that who the hell likes that? No one likes any of that. And most of the times the behaviours that you're insecure about and can't handle and don't know how to control, most people don't know either. Most people experience the same thing, and by sharing these things and letting other people know what the hell's going on with you, being yourself, you start to get a life that's not so bad. You start feeling so much better, because it is absolutely exhausting faking things and hiding emotions. When you realise how exhausting it is if you've been doing it, you realise that the best way is to expose yourself and be open and honest and let people know you can be wrong. And that's what I tell myself with these videos when I'm thinking I have to be perfect. No one's perfect. Show me someone who's perfect and doesn't say things that are wrong. You're never going to see me media trained because I'm okay with being wrong. But anyway, peace.